Celebrity scandals can spread faster than the common cold, and reality TV offers no shortage of material. Even though viewers have come to expect the unexpected on their favorite hit shows, the following scandals still caught audiences off guard. From legal woes to shocking outbursts to love gone horribly wrong, here are the reality TV scandals we didn't see coming. 19 Kids and Counting. The scandal that rocked the Duggar family, stars of 19 Kids and Counting, was especially shocking considering the wholesome values they project on the show. In 2006, In Touch published a police report detailing allegations from 2002 when a then 14-year-old Josh Duggar reportedly molested 4 of his sisters and one family friend. A deeper investigation quickly revealed what looked like cover-up attempts by parents Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. Within months, 19 Kids and Counting was canceled, but that wasn't the last of Josh's troubles. He was also exposed in the Ashley Madison hack, prompting him to publicly admit to years of lying and infidelity. But by December 2015, the eldest children of the Duggar clan had returned to TLC with a new series called Counting On. In one way or another, nearly every member of the family has returned for that series, except Josh. Duck Dynasty. After Phil Robertson gave a now infamous GQ interview disparaging homosexuality, a social media firestorm descended on the popular duck call makers. The ensuing debate about free speech, hate speech, and religious freedom threatened Duck Dynasty, prompting A&E to briefly suspend Phil from the show. In its off-season when it wasn't even filming, uproar from supporters caused Phil's eventual return.
My idea of happiness is killing things. Boom, 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 bow, boom, bow.
Duck Dynasty is hands down A&E's most popular show of all time, not to mention a merchandising juggernaut, so the network decided to white-knuckle it through the backlash rather than end the series and sacrifice a ton of cash. Flip or Flop. The marriage of Flip or Flop stars Tarek and Christina El Moussa was already over when this bizarre incident hit the tabloids. After a fight, Tarek left the house and fled to a nearby trail behind the house, but not before grabbing a handgun from a safe and stuffing it into a backpack. Why?
There's mountain lions and bobcats and rattlesnakes and like big wildlife back there, and I went up for a hike to scout some trails. It wasn't even a big deal.
From there, the tabloid floodgates burst, and it was open season on the El Moussa's marriage. Amazingly, the show is still recording new episodes, and both Tarek and Christina are still starring together, despite probably dealing with more stress than a cracked home foundation could have ever given them. Fixer Upper. It's tough to imagine the charmingly wholesome stars of Fixer Upper, Chip and Joanna Gaines, being tangled up in anything scandalous. But in 2017, Chip's 2 former business partners, with whom he founded Magnolia Realty, sued him for fraud. According to the Waco Tribune-Herald, Chip allegedly bought them out of the business for $2,500 each, just 2 days before the announcement that HGTV had picked up the show. The kicker was, Chip had been in negotiations with the network for over a year. Thanks to the show's explosive popularity, Magnolia Realty ballooned into a massive company. Chip's former partners are now seeking $1 million in damages.
Did I embarrass a lot of people?
No, it was just gross. It took you on a whole nother level.
Meanwhile, fans of the popular show are currently mourning the Gaines' decision to end the series, but we're sure they'll have the popcorn ready as the unexpected drama surrounding Magnolia Realty continues to unfold. Sister Wives. This reality show is about polygamous Cody Brown and his 4 wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin. Obviously, their family dynamic is extremely complicated, hence the structuring of an entire television show around it. But one kink in the chain that no one expected was for one of the wives, Mary, to get wrapped up in a full-blown catfishing scandal. In Mary's case, it was especially bad. Not only was her catfish Sam attempting to exploit her emotionally, but he also turned out to be a notorious online scammer named Jackie Overton, a woman who apparently did this kind of thing a lot.
This catfish was planting things in my head and just telling me how horrible my family was, and specifically how horrible Cody was.
It's unclear what Overton ultimately achieved from her deception, other than providing an insanely juicy storyline for the show, which the producers drew out for an entire season, of course. Married at First Sight. If you've never seen it, this series does exactly what the title says. 2 strangers get married the day they meet. There clearly weren't high expectations for any of those marriages.
Is that symbolic that they're wearing black?
Still, nobody anticipated what happened with Season 2 newlyweds Jessica Castro and Ryan Danino. Castro and Danino married in December 2014 and made it all the way to February 2015 before throwing in the towel. Why did they decide to end it? According to Castro, Danino threatened her and her entire family. Danino didn't outright deny anything, but he did say in an Instagram post that he was disgusted by the accusations. Later, In Touch reported that a paralegal representing Danino in the divorce claimed he threw a tantrum during a meeting and became even more violent to the point where others came in to check on the paralegal's safety. Danilo later apologized for what he said to Castro at the reunion show.
First, I want to apologize to you for the way that I've spoke to you, and I am sorry. No matter what, it's unacceptable. And as a man, I need to take ownership of that, and for that, I'm sorry.
That's nice and all, but it usually takes more than an apology to make up for threatening to end the lives of your in-laws. The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Granted, anyone who's ever seen a mafia movie has probably looked at Joe Giudice of The Real Housewives of New Jersey and thought, oh yeah, that guy's done some stuff. But Joe and his wife Teresa were always adamant that they weren't involved in any criminal activity. Turns out that was all a huge bluff, because both Teresa and Joe made plea deals regarding a slew of fraud charges. In the end, they both went to jail, and Joe also faces the possibility that he'll get deported to Italy at some point. Teresa served her 11 months in 2015. She then returned to the show and wrote a book about the whole experience. Who says crime doesn't pay? Big Brother. Being held captive in an environment which is being broadcast to the world is literally the entire concept of Big Brother. You'd think contestants would be pretty careful to not make racially insensitive comments that the whole world will see. But that's exactly what happened during the 15th season of the American version of the show. Contestant Erin Grease repeatedly made racist and homophobic remarks and was eventually evicted from the house.
Does she not know we're on TV and you shouldn't say stuff like that?
During her post-show interview, she tried to explain away her comments.
I have said some things that have been taken completely out of context and wrong, and I do not mean to ever come off racist.
As to why the series made the decision to air these particular comments, we'll just go ahead and point to Business Insider's observation that before the controversial episodes aired, the show was in a ratings slump. Afterward, the show enjoyed its highest ratings ever. Dance Moms. In 2017, Dance Mom star Abby Lee Miller went to prison for fraud related to a bankruptcy filing. According to ABC News, Miller was allegedly hiding about $775,000 in income and bringing $120,000 worth of Australian currency into the country without reporting it. Fortunately for Miller, she already knows exactly how she's going to spend her time behind bars.
I'm just gonna pretend I'm shooting a movie and we're on set and I'm there for 10 months and that's the way it's gonna be.
She also said she's going to spend her time in the clink reading, writing, and learning Spanish. That just sounds lovely. Bachelor in Paradise. What would a list of reality TV scandals be without The Bachelor? In the beach-themed spin-off Bachelor in Paradise, a scandal broke out before the show even aired its first episode. After production was halted in order to pursue an investigation into alleged misconduct, explosive allegations began to fly over what occurred between the two cast members in question, Corinne Olympios and Tamario Jackson. Normally, cast hookups on a show like Bachelor in Paradise are about as routine as an open bar. But in this case, there was a claim of a possible sexual assault. When the dust settled, the investigation indicated that there was no misconduct or evidence that the safety of any cast member was ever in jeopardy. The show finally addressed the scandal in the most Bachelor way possible. Weeks of promotion, 2 dramatic sit-downs with both Olympios and Jackson, and a full cast Q&A. While the producers of Bachelor in Paradise may not have anticipated this scandal, they sure knew how to milk it for everything it was worth. The Bachelor. It's no secret that The Bachelor has a rich history of controversies, most of which involve drinking shenanigans, infidelity, or castmate hookup speculation. But how about when a cast member is accused of hooking up with the show's staff? Unlike the Bachelor in Paradise scandal, there was apparently no question about what happened this time, at least not according to host Chris Harrison, who went in hard on the alleged rule breaker Rosalind Papa.
Rosalind, you entered into an inappropriate relationship with one of our staffers.
Harrison spelled out the details of the forbidden tryst to People, saying, "She had a physical relationship with a producer on our show. You cannot do that. There is no gray area." Other girls on the show saw it. The producer confessed more than once and to more than one person. I cannot make it any clearer. Still, Papa denied that the relationship had ever happened.
On my child's life, that never happened.
She also told Us Weekly, "There was no making out. If I had known that I was going to get accused of it, maybe I would have gone for it." Citing her confidentiality agreement, Papa refused to elaborate on what actually occurred between her and the producer, leaving the whole thing open to speculation. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Another victim of his own uncensored tongue is Dwayne Dog Chapman, the mulleted, sleeveless wonder who tracks down fugitives. Dog took some serious heat after a recorded phone call hit the internet, revealing his repeated use of derogatory racial terms. After a brief suspension and making the news talk circuit, Dog was back on A&E bagging bail jumpers. Because if there's one thing Americans hate more than racism, it's having to find a new favorite show.
I'll yell at you all you want! What the you gonna do? Nothing!
Paula Deen. Apparently, watching Paula Deen make sugar-coated, deep-fried butterballs wasn't enough for America to forgive Deen for her controversial testimony during a racial and sexual discrimination lawsuit.
Now, according to the deposition, Deen was asked, "Have you ever used the N-word yourself?" To which she replies, "Yes, of course."
Even though she won the suit, the heat from the controversy was too much for the Food Network, who kicked her out of the kitchen. That sweet Southern grandma persona couldn't keep her business partners from publicly cutting their ties with Deen either. Forbes reported that Smithfield Foods, Target, and Walmart all dumped Deen, along with the endorsement deals that were earning her $17 million at the height of her popularity.
Well, hey, friends.
But she didn't go quietly. According to Eater, Deen acquired the rights to all of her old Food Network shows and turned them into a subscription-based online network. On top of that, she launched a clothing line, competed on Dancing with the Stars, and attempted to return to cooking on TV with a new syndicated series called Positively Paula. There's just no stopping her.
I have gone nuts. We got to talk about my nuts. Oh my God, I got the best. My Uncle Bubba, well, he's not my uncle, he's my brother.
Thanks for watching. Click the Nicki Swift icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.